see. Make sure all this working. Hold on one second. Hey. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to make sure that my Instagram streaming properly. Let's do this. I haven't gone live in a minute. Let's see. Let's do this. Save. Let's go over here. Let's see if it's working. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. So I want to pass that on. That. All right. So let me just make sure that I am live in all the places. Yep. So it looks like okay. Hey YouTube. Let me check on over here on Facebook. Make sure I'm live over here. And then it looks like, yep. So let me just share this into my group and things. And then I should be live on Instagram too. Let's see. All right. So it looks like all is well. So, hey everybody, welcome to Revitalize. It's going to be a 5-day live stream series. I'm excited to be bringing it to you. I haven't been live like this in a while, just all out here in the public streets. So I'm excited to come and share with you all in this way. So for those that may be tuned in and are new to me, I am Famira. I am a community brand focused coach. And so I want to talk to people about the power of actually revitalizing your brand, right? And so one of the things that I see that happens a lot with entrepreneurs is that as you're on this entrepreneur journey, let's say you've been in business 2, 3, 5, 7, or you might be like me about to experience your 10th year in business, and you have evolved, right? Like you have learned different things, you have tapped into different information, you have evolved as a person, you have evolved in your craft, and and what that looks like. But oftentimes we don't allow our brands to evolve, and there's different reasons why we do this or why we don't allow for that to happen. And and some of that is because of the fact that we have built these communities, we have these audiences, and we're afraid that if we that if we allow ourselves to evolve our brand, that in some way we may actually lose part of our community and part that we've worked so hard to grow and to cultivate over time, right? And so I want to talk to you about the power in actually doing that, because when you know that you've been called to go deeper in your work, to show up at a deeper level with your work and what you're doing, then you need to make sure that your brand is also on one accord, right? That it's on one accord with who you are. So if you're watching me live, definitely make sure you say hi in the comments, because I'm using a streaming service. So I want to make sure that it's operating properly for me. So if you are checking me out, if you could just say hello in the comments, that would really help me out to make sure, one, that you can hear me, because I'm using these ear pods. Hey, Annette. So I'm using these ear pods because I am house sitting this evening, and hey, Benita, and my parents' next door neighbor decides he wants to go out there and blow leaves with the leaf blower literally 2 minutes before I was about to go live. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want y'all hearing the leaf blowing in the background. So I had to put on my headset, which I normally don't like going live with this headset on, because it always just, to me, it makes it feel like I'm having like an echo in my head. And so I prefer not to use the headset if I could help it. But like, he's literally like right outside this window in the room that I'm in. So couldn't be helped. So I had to use them. So I wanted to make sure that you all could hear me clearly. But so I'll be going live every day this week. I decided to do it as a live stream series. You can register for it just to make sure you don't miss anything, because I send out reminders to remind you to tune in, but there's no barrier to access. It's live on. I'm actually live right now on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, as well as sharing it into my Facebook community. So anywhere, whichever platform is your favorite, you can come hang out with me. And so I'm excited for that as well. But each day I'm going to be talking about a different aspect of or area that you need to look at when it comes to really being able to, breathe that fresh air, to revitalize that brand and up level it for the next level that you're looking at creating. And so today is going to be all about elevating your content creation, right? And how do you craft your messages to make sure that you're including this next level of depth that you feel that you've been called to showcase and share, right? And so it's really important that as we grow as entrepreneurs, that we also allow our body of work to grow with us, right? That we don't feel like we're trapped in necessarily teaching what we have always taught the way we've always taught it. Because if you are really operating in a place that is your life's work, you're not going to stop learning, right? Like, I've been doing branding now for 10 years, like, and I continue to learn more about branding. I continue to learn more about marketing. I continue to learn more about community growth, whether that is through I can hear him blowing these leaves. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, whether that is through reading, courses, working with my own set of coaches, when it comes to being a business owner, different things like that. And so as I learn these different things, I bring them to my community. I bring that knowledge to my my audience. I know it's literally like he is in this room with me. I'm like, can you please go to the other part of your yard? I'm sorry, this is real life. I can't do nothing about it. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It's not as distracting to you all as it is to me. What a way to start this live stream series. Yes. But you want to look at, you know, being able to take that information deeper, because a lot of times our clients themselves are also on a journey. And so as you evolve, this is how you get clients. When you hear people and they say their client has been working with them for 2, 3, 4 years, right? It's not because that client is still stuck on the same thing that they were stuck on day one. No, it's that as the coach evolves, the client needs the new information too, and it opens up new opportunities for people to continue to work with you, for them to continue to connect with you. and want to learn from you. But if you never tell them about, how things have grown, then they don't know the depth of what it is that you actually can help them with, right? And so that's the first thing. There's really power in going deeper and not necessarily always going wider when it comes to building your community and creating this content. So you get to a point where you're no longer essentially creating content that's just on step one. You may be creating content for people who are now on step 5, step 7, step 10, depending on what your process is and what industry you're in, and how you support them, right? And one of the questions I often get is people want to know, like, how do I know that it's time to evolve evolve my empire, evolve my brand, and to step into this this deeper level of work? And oftentimes I tell them it's up to you to trust your intuition, right? And so you have to trust the guidance and the pull that you're getting to take your work deeper, right? Like, very rarely do I find anyone and they don't know that they're supposed to be doing something more, right? Or going doing something greater. Most of the time, if you are playing small, even if your small looks like somebody else's big, right? So you get, this isn't about the income that you're creating or where your space is at in your industry. I work with women who are multiple six-figure earners and still realize that they are playing small by their own definition, right? In regards to the vision that they actually have for the purpose that they have here to do, right? And so you have to trust your intuition around what it's supposed to look like for you when it comes to you showing up, when it comes to you going to this next level. And revitalizing your brand can really help do that, right? Because it allows you to showcase to your community there's a shift that has happened here, right? There is a shift in the atmosphere, there is a change in what I'm going to be talking about and how I'm going to be showing up, and the level of conversation that I'm going to be having, right? And so y'all know me, I'm always about blending that spiritual and that strategy together. You can't have one without the other, for long lasting community and long lasting business, right? And so you have to, one of the things I think that we get away from a lot of times in the coaching, especially in the coaching industry, right? And I work with a lot of women that are coaches and healers, and we get away from the fact of the truth of trusting yourself. Yes, do I believe that you get support and that you can work with someone else to help you? Yes. But do I feel like ultimately I know what's best for you better than you know what's best for you? Absolutely not. I'm here to support you in what it is that you're looking to do in the next level that you're looking to go to. So I'm always going to tell you to go inward and trust yourself, and what are you being told? What are you spiritually being led to do? And then once you know what that is, then yes, then we could work together and I can help you, reach that goal and get to that place, right? But you have to be in a place of trusting yourself and trusting your own intuition, especially when it comes to the type of content you want to put out, right? Because the content isn't nothing but a conversation. And so when I always hear people say that they're nervous or they don't like creating content, which I get, especially when you see other people putting 4 or 5 pieces of content out every day, and you like, who got time for that, right? Because what they don't tell you is they have a whole team that's helping them put all this content out, right? But you have to, when it comes to putting your content out, I tell people all the time, it's really just what conversations do you want to have with your community, right? That's all content is. Content is just content done well, right? And content done powerfully that has the most impact is truly just conversation. What is the conversation that you want to have with your community? What is it that you want them to know, right? You know, regardless of what industry you're in that industry for a reason, right? There's a reason why you were called to that work, and there's things that you want to impart into people for them to have a better life, a better business, better health, a better family, a better relationship, a better career, a better education, whatever, you know, what better health, whatever your industry is, right? There are things about it that you want to impart for them to have better, right? And that's what your content allows you to do. It allows you to have a conversation around what those things are and how they can do things that would make it better for them, right? And so that's what you need to know first of all when you're looking to up level and evolve your brand and really tap into this energy of what I'm calling revitalization, right? With your brand, you want to know, like, what type of conversations, what's the conversations I'm wanting to lead? What are the things you want to be the thought leader around, right? You're a trailblazer in your industry, you're doing things different, and you're doing that for a reason. So what are the conversations that you want to have? You know, what are some of those higher level conversations? And when you allow yourself to do that, then you decide which platform is going to be best for you. What's the perfect type of content format, right? So if you're a writer, maybe that's blogs, maybe that's long form post, right? If you know that you do better showing up on camera and that people connect with you better, you know, when they can see you or they can actually hear your voice, then you want to think about podcasts. You want to think about, you know, live streams like this, reels. Of course, we know short form video does wonders. But you can have powerful short form video and never show your face, and people never hear your voice as well, right? So but understanding essentially where is your sweet spot in regards to how you are designed to show up, because not every, you know, this is why I have an issue oftentimes with people that just give blanket statements and create cookie cutter solutions, because can everyone go on camera? Yes. Is everyone's best avenue for creating content camera? No. Right? Because we're all designed differently. We are all set up differently, right? And so you may be a writer and you may be able to weave those words together in writing a lot better than you do on camera, right? Or vice versa. So all content works, right? All marketing works, all sales, you know, works. It's all about finding what works for you and what creates that sweet spot, right? This is why I don't get involved in a lot of these conversations around like high ticket versus low ticket, all ticket sale, you know, video versus written content, all content connects. You know, say like whether you should do digital products or group programs, people making buku money off of both, right? But the reason why it works for the people that are being successful in those areas is because they have found the thing that actually works for them. And too many people are in places and under tutelage that's not really about helping you find what works best for you. It's about helping you find what works best for your coach, because that's what they can teach you about, right? And so again, that's where you have to listen to your intuition to, you know, this probably not, even though this is something that works, that's probably not going to work for me. And this is why, right? And being able to stand on that on when you're choosing the type of content that you want to be about. Right now, you know, we see a lot of podcast creators that grew super big podcasts, especially during the pandemic. One of my favorite podcasts, you know, he recently, the creator of that podcast recently made a video being vulnerable and sharing that ad revenue for podcasts is down 70%. Why is that? Because everybody's telling people that everybody need to have a podcast, right? And it's a low barrier entry. All you need is a microphone and some recording equipment, right? And you can have a podcast. You can have a podcast. You can have a podcast. Everybody have a podcast, right? And we're seeing now the detriment that happens with that, because now you have all these podcasts out here, but you got the same podcast ad dollars that are now trying to be spread out against all these millions of podcasts. And some of these people shouldn't even have podcasts, right? Like, somebody should go in there and revoke their right to a mic. Right. Right. But and some people don't even like the podcast that they have, right? But they feel like this is a way to get my voice out there. This is a way for people to hear about me. And I'm not beating up the podcast industry, don't get me wrong, because I love podcasts, and I've had my share of podcasts, and I probably will have another podcast at some point in the future. That's not the point. You can insert any form of content in the place of podcast, but I'm just using it as a real life example right now, that now you see, some of these super great podcasts, but now they're having to battle and fight with these other podcasts in order to get access to ad revenue to be able to continue making their podcast make sense, right, for their business. So you have to know yourself. This is why I'm a true proponent on you actually understanding your own unique divine design and how you've been created to show up in the world and to have the impact that you desire to have, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed by content, right? And you're not feeling like content is simply a task. When you actually understand how you've been set up and you can find the avenue of content that you actually enjoy, then content becomes easy, right? It becomes more of a communion, because again, it's conversation with the community that you say you want to serve. So if that's the case, you should be able to have that conversation with ease and enjoyment, right? I like talking, so live streaming and things of that nature, podcasts, they work really well for me. But I know it's not something I'd be wanting to do all the time, right? Because sometimes I go into my introverted mode and I need a break. Right. So it's also about understanding like how to set it up so that it makes sense for you. And all of these things you can really do when you take the time to really sit down, be honest with yourself, look at what you've created so far with your business, and decide what areas within my content creation really need some revitalization. Because for where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to create and this next level I'm trying to reach, the way I'm doing it right now may not make sense for that next level, right? And you want to be in a space where you're really able to showcase your expertise, your content, the type of conversations you're having, the talk that you're having with people. It should actually showcase your expertise, right? People should be able to take actionable steps based on what you're saying, based on what you're teaching them. They should be able to see certain successes that clients are having, or customers, depending on if you are service based or product based, because this is the same for product based businesses as well, right? Like, you got to know who you're talking to, and you have to be able to showcase why you are the person that they should be connecting with, right? So that they can not only connect with your energy, but also know that they're going to be in good hands, right? Um, Everybody's talking about the whole thing with Netflix right now, that show on twin flames. And I haven't watched it yet, but I can't wait to watch it and dissect it from a community standpoint. And because you can utilize your expertise for good, and you can utilize your expertise for not so good, right? And so, but the way to make money and to show up in business is you have to showcase your expertise. People have to feel like you're helping them, right? And unfortunately, what I see too much of is that the people with all the audacity are the people who don't have oftentimes good intentions for the people that they're serving. And all of those that, come into my realm that really do have the best of intentions for their audiences in mind, a lot of them are playing scared. A lot of y'all are playing small, right? And you're not going big, and you're not standing on the fact that, that you have a PhD, or that you have a master's degree in this, that, and the third, and that you've clocked so many hours in your respective field, and that you hold these certifications, that show your actual expertise in the work that you do. Why? Because a lot of us been taught not to brag, not to boast, right? That it's not about us, it's about the people we serve. And in a lot of ways, you end up doing disservice, right? Because you're not standing in the power of your expertise, which leaves people going to search for it somewhere else, right? Going to look for it somewhere else. And so your content is a way that you're able to show that to people, to let people know, nah, like I've clocked, several thousand hours in this work, even for me, like I'm about to celebrate 10 years in business, and it's been a road, right? Like it's been a road, but because it has been that road, it's a lot of things I can help you from hitting up against, right? Because I've hit up against it. I could share that expertise. I could share that experience that I have with people, and I do in my community all the time, right? When you get to a place where now your content is really in alignment with where you're trying to go, your trajectory, and the new level of depth that that you've been called to speak to, right? You'll see your engagement and your connection change, right? The engagement and connection will change because now you'll get to the people that been waiting on you, right? And so then a lot of times you'll get people that's like, oh my God, you're talking directly to me. Um, you know, are you reading my diary? Are you in the room with me and my best friend when we're talking, right? Those are some of the things people tell me. You're in my head. Next time, just say my name, when you're making posts. And that's because you are honoring where you're meant to be. And now you're having a conversation at the level that you're meant to have in it, right? Because we all get to that place where we have that little voice in our head that's like, you should say this, and you need to talk about this, and this is a whole thing. And you might get nervous because you're like, oh my God, like how are people going to take this? How are people going to receive what I gotta say? And and a lot of times we as people, we like to think that we don't care what nobody think, right? We don't care what nobody think. But when you actually care about the work that you do, and you actually care about the people you serve, it's not about you caring about what they think, but you do care on whether or not they gonna still be there. You do care on are you uplifting them as opposed to tearing them down. And so then when you know it's time for you to uh stop business as usual and show up and share some unpopular opinions, or tell the truth about certain things because you're a truth teller, it's uncomfortable. And when you have to do that in your content, and you had that voice, guys telling you, or whoever your belief system is, your spiritual team is like, we need to have some of these deeper conversations. It can be nerve-wracking. It can be scary, right? Like, we're not going to be out here acting like fear don't happen. It does. But the question is, do you decide to continue to engage? Do you decide that the connection is still worth it? And I'm going to continue to move forward in what I know I'm being called to do and take my work to that next level? Or am I going to play it safe and stay here where I have been because I know this works, and I know that I can make money at this level? So I'm just not going to allow myself to stretch because I'm afraid of what's on the other side, right? And here's the thing: at the end of the day, the choice is yours. It's kind of like the Matrix. You get to decide, do you want to stick with the red pill, or do you want to take the blue pill, or what does that look like, right? And I'm just saying, if you decide that you want to take the red pill that lets you go to the next level, right? That I can help you, right? And that's what Revitalize is all about, right? And just really get to that place where you're about revitalizing your brand and taking it to that next level. So that is what I wanted to talk about on tonight. So, like I said, I'll be going live for the rest of the week. Same time, same place, 5 p.m. Eastern. And so we're going to look at tomorrow. We're going to talk specifically about community building and how you may need to revitalize your brand when it comes to how you're building your community and how you're amplifying your own visibility. Then on visibility, is Wednesday. So that amplifying your brand's visibility is Wednesday. So we're going to talk about that. Thursday, we're going to get into conversations around creating an epic brand journey. Like, what is the actual journey you're taking people on, right? What does that look like? Is it aligned with the vision? Is your services even aligned with the journey that you say you're taking people on, right? And then Friday, we'll talk about visual branding, because it all needs to look the part, right? And that, believe it or not, oftentimes visual branding is one of the hardest things to get people to let go of or to change in some type of way, because you become, as a business owner, you become attached to what your brand looks like. And sometimes that is what's holding you back, right? Because people don't see the evolution. And so we're going to talk about why that's important as well. So I hope you'll stay tuned with me. If you would like, you can definitely go and register for this live stream so that you can make sure that you don't miss us and that you get the reminders to join us. These will be up. Again, I'm streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And so on Facebook and Instagram, I'm not sure if they'll stay up, but they're going to stay up on my YouTube page. So you could definitely make sure you're following me over there on YouTube. I am Famira. And to make sure that you are able to keep watch on these videos. So I hope you'll be back and you'll join me. If you have any questions, please, as well, ask those in the comments. I would love to answer any questions. You can also DM me any questions that you may have, and I can answer those on the next live stream as well. So if you're watching a replay, feel free to ask your questions as well, and I will be happy to answer them in the comments for you. And I'm excited because I do have something I'm gonna be sharing with y'all later in the week. I'm just gonna be transparent. Like, I'm letting y'all know I'm giving y'all early access to essentially what I'm launching for Black Friday as a part of this live stream series, and it's called Revitalize. It is a group program where I'm gonna take you through all these things, and I'm gonna help you with all of these aspects. And I'm really excited about it. I haven't had a group program now in 2 years, almost 2 years since my last group program. I just been working with my membership and working one-on-one. So I'm excited to step back into that type of environment. I love working with small groups of women and helping them with their business. So I'm really excited about this. So I'll be talking about it more later in the week. So but if you know you want the information, you can also slide in my DM and let me know, and I'll make sure that you get the information once I make it public and share it with you. So I hope you all have an amazing night. You have a good night. I'm trying to keep these at 30 minutes. I'm doing good. It's been 34 minutes. For anybody that's ever been in my realm, y'all know that I could be long-winded sometimes. And so I'm trying my best to keep these trainings at about 30 minutes or less. So I'm gonna consider today a win. A win is a win, even though it's about to be 35 minutes. Because it could have been an hour. So a win is a win. Y'all have an amazing night, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.